Hello, for this run we're playing Sigrun carry alongside Evelyn, Laia and handsome Andrin. We'll be travelling through Sati and Feyborg with the intention of corrupting the very strong new weapon, Mjolnir. And we're going to be playing on Madness 18, where enemies now have more HP, injuries are permanent and can't be removed, and our otherwise excellent rewards that we'd be shooting for are now normalised to great. So let's get into the divinations, the decks, the perks and the pathing. For divinations I rolled 11 fast, taking a scry, an unstable power. Nothing. Nothing again. An unstable power and a vigilance. A bookworm, a setup and a setup. Nothing. A zap and a trace. Nothing. A rain. And finally a camouflage and a chant of initiative. And here we are about to head out to Act 1 town, and as you can see, recently Andrin got a big buff. Now, if you've watched any of my other videos, you'll know that Andrin is imperative for the OTK build, and that we'll be tracing, vigilancing through our deck, looking for a Chant of Initiative and Expert Tracker, both of which are going to go to Evelyn. Now, before we go through Evelyn's deck, I just want to caveat that I don't necessarily think that OTK is the most reliable way to make it through High Madness. I make these videos to kind of showcase the art of the possible if you really limit test the game. And I do want to be mindful not to bait viewers into thinking this is the only way to play High Madness, because it absolutely is not. With that out of the way, let's take a look at Evelyn's deck, where we're going to be doing innate cheese. And what I mean by that is the top 7 cards of Evelyn's deck are always going to be the same. We rolled this Bookworm and Divination, so I changed this to blue. We have Scroll of Speed, Shifting Scroll, and 4 Unstable Power. And like I mentioned, Evelyn is going to be the beneficiary of Expert Tracker from Andrin, and we are actively going to put all 7 of those into the discard pile to effectively thin Evelyn's deck to 8 cards only. And those 8 remaining cards are Cold Spark, Mana Gem, 2 Rains, a blue Scroll of Speed, and 3 Transmission. Our ideal hand is where Cold Spark stays on the bottom of the deck, so we'd have a Mana Gem, 2 Rains, a Scroll of Speed, and 3 Transmissions, and we would be able to play all 3 of those Transmissions because of the Mana Gem, which is just incredible early game tempo. Obviously, that's not going to happen in every single fight. We may have a Mana Gem on the bottom of the deck. We may have a Transmission or a Rain. Those are acceptable, but we do absolutely need a Scroll of Speed to keep the speed control going. If Scroll of Speed is the bottom of the deck, we can either trace Evelyn, 1 extra card to get it, or we actually can keep this Scroll of Speed on top of the deck, and that will suffice for speeding up Laia. Laia will be going next, and she'll draw a hand of 7 after receiving Transmission because we have the Inspire Draws 2 perk, and because of the Transmission, we'll have 6 energy to spend. We'll be using those cards and energy to buff Sigrun as much as possible with Inspire from Clarities and Helping Hands, Bless from Benediction and Lay on Pause, and a bit of Sharp from Sharpen, as well as some Powerful from Inner Fire. If possible, we'd love to get a slow and some vulnerable enemies in the form of Piercing Howl. You can see this is quite a shard-intensive run, and so we are stuck for now with this Holy Slash. We'll be looking to replace this with a better card as soon as possible. We'll then be passing the turn to Sigrun, who's going to pop off with a combination of lightning damage, and then at least for now until we hit level 2, slashing damage as well. Sigrun receives a Transmission from Evelyn too, so she'll have at least 6 energy, and that will go on a Camouflage into a Blade Dance, Scavenge back the Blade Dance, and then Camouflage into a Blade Dance again, mopping up what's left with Slice and Zap, and of course raining before we zap for the extra lightning damage. Of course, we'll be preceding that with Unstable Power if we don't have full Powerful, and Setup we got from a Divination, and so I changed this to a 0 cost 1. We wanted to be spending all of our energy on damage versus card selection, and so this will allow us to at least get the key combo on Sigrun if we're struggling to find it. As for perks, as you know, for the OTK style, we try and do as much gold and shards as possible, and we're going Stealth for Camouflage and potentially Vanish in the late game. Now, Sigrun is very, very fast. I actually opted not to go for any speed or fast. I could see a world where you go for one of these, or potentially even the fast, just because of the winged helmet to get her ahead. But we are going to be starting at 19 speed, which for Act 1 is very, very good. We do have 2 Scrolls of Speed, remember, on Evelyn, so if we do need to get Sigrun faster, we do have an out. But because the perks were quite intensive, I opted not to go for any speed at all. Now, in the physical tree, we're going to be playing Blade Flurry all throughout the game, so we're doing Fury increases damage by 5%. And in the early game, before we convert our damage to Lightning at level 2, we're going to be clearing with Slashing damage, and so I'm having Sharp increases slashing damage by 1.5 per charge. We really need to put out as much damage as possible until we hit our key level 2, and then we'll be transforming into lightning. So speaking of which, in the elemental tree, we're going all the way down here. Didn't quite need all this spark, couldn't afford it, and I think it's very expensive for what you get, and by the late game we're going to be applying a bunch of that anyway. We are playing Rains in the early game, so we're going wet, and even though this got quite significant nerf, for OTK you still need the temper, so we're doing powerful increases damage by 8% per charge, maximum charge is reduced by 2, and for the same reason we're having Bless increase our damage by 1.5 per charge, but no longer increasing healing received. As for Andrin's perks, we're going full golden shards, we're going fast because of Chant of Initiative, and eventually Forest Crown and speed for obvious reasons, he's our speed controller. We're going slow, and we're going vulnerable, because as I mentioned, we're going through Sati in Act 2, and in Sati there is a pet trainer, so my plan is to corrupt Wolfie, and so we're going vulnerable for that, as well as for Uproot too. Mark is for obvious reasons, because of Wild Hunt. I'm having Sight Dispel Stealth for a couple of problematic units just in case, and we're having Stealth increase damage by 25% per charge, which just gives Sigrun a little bit of a boost on the camouflage in the early game, just for that extra reach. Similarly, in the Elemental tree, Andrin is quite perk light, so we're having Wet, reduces lightning resistance as well, which will be our primary damage on Sigrun post level 2. On Laia, we go full golden shards, making her as fast as possible, playing slow because of Piercing Howl, and I have been enjoying this perk, which gives you a refund if you spend 6 energy or more. I like this with Divine Power, and the Divine Power that you get from Divine Guidance, obviously the overchargeable versions that you can pump 6 energy plus into. Have been enjoying this, especially with the addition of the new card Amplify, where you can save a bit of energy at the end, and then give a big multiplicative buff on any auras on your carry. I do also like Evasion, just in case we pick up an Evasion armor. This will allow us to play an extra Fanaticism for more energy. In physical, we're chipping in the early game with Sharpen, so we're going sharp just to get Sigrun through the early game. We're having vulnerable extra stacks because of Piercing Howl, and then in the Elemental tree, we're going as many powerful as possible. We need to get to 8 stacks of powerful if possible in the early game, so we're having a +2 to the powerful charges, and as I mentioned earlier, Inspire draws 2, but the charge is limited to 1, and then finally, for obvious reasons, we're going Bless. And then lastly, for Evelyn's perks, couldn't quite get all the way down the gold tree, did get all the way down the shard tree. We're going fast because of Scroll of Speed, and speed for obvious reasons. In the physical tree, we're having vulnerable capacity increased by 1. In the elemental tree, plan is to take Freezing Ink, as I mentioned, we're going through Feyborg, and so we went wet. She is playing rain after all, but 1 chill, there'll be a bit of speed control, as well as from level 3 ability, so this is just in case we do take Freezing Ink, we are going to be playing books on Evelyn. And we're going Spark. We're going Spark and Sanctify, because we're going to be playing the new pet, Jelly, in Act 2. So not only will this be resist reduction for Sigrun, but also a bit of sustain for Sigrun too, in case we play something like Life Tap, which is pretty cool. It's nice that we get this sustain. And like I mentioned on the support characters, really enjoy the Inspire draws 2, but charges are capped at 1. As for equipment, you can see we bought this Brigand armor on Evelyn just to try and make her as fast as possible. And the very, very first thing I did as soon as I launched into the run was buy Mimey. You get a 5% discount on everything you spend other than divinations. This doesn't affect divinations, but all of your cards, all of your equipment, and everything throughout the rest of the run will be discounted by 5%, which is absolutely incredible value. And Mimey, I believe now, is just a must buy in every run. The value is insane. So let's head out of town, and just to reiterate, I'm playing a very curated and try-hard game plan. I've already checked that all the requisite nodes are ahead. I frequently save the game and just want to make sure this is a glass cannon style. It's certainly not optimal to play on High Madness in this way, but at least to me I find it quite fun in the puzzle solving. So with that in mind, let's jump into Fight 1, see if we can OTK. Okay, on Andrin, we have to find Expert Tracker, and if we can't, we are dead. So, gonna dig pretty hard for it. And we do get it every time. We have very good deck manipulation. So there we find it. Has to go on Evelyn. We get rid of all this stuff. I could keep this Scroll of Speed, because you can see the wolf is actually faster than Sigrun. So there's a world where I keep this. I'm gonna get rid of it, and instead I'm gonna look for Piercing Howl on Laia, which we find. I'm gonna get rid of all this other stuff. We're looking for Bless and Sharp if possible. Speed up Evelyn. And we have a spare trace, so we'll stick that on Sigrun. Getting rid of Rain and Blade Flurry. Keep the free stuff. We want to be doing double camouflage, double blade dance if possible. We'll throw a Cold Spark Toasty's direction. We do get our combo of transmission ×3. We'll stick the scroll of speed on Laia, passing the turn. Alright, we will, in a fire, Sigrun, start building up the powerful. Speaking of which, I don't think I need this second unstable power. We have 2, remember, in Sigrun's deck. Give Sigrun some Inspire, slow down the enemies. Wolf is now behind Sigrun. Bless, more Bless, and some Sharp. Early game's really rough, especially on Madness 18. They have more health, and powerful is a lot worse. You can see once we use this unstable power, we get plus 64%. This used to be plus 70, so there's a big nerf. We'll camouflage into our Blade Dance. This is our core combo. We were lucky enough to rip a camouflage. If we didn't do this, if we didn't have this one, we would Blade Flurry first, but we can't afford the Blade Flurry. As you can see, we're now down to 2 energy. We'll double zap, another zap, and just making it through. Really tight, really tight. Not going to take anything here. I'll see you in the next fight. Okay, this is our first Corruptor fighter up against Sub-Zero. As I mentioned, this is a fragile strategy. If this was Noxious Parasites or Melancholy or even Heavenly Armaments, this would be a lot harder. Luckily, Sub-Zero is not too much of a problem for us. You can see we're faster than the Hatchling, so we don't even need to speed up Sigrun. I'm going to trace Laia like this, I think. Just get rid of the Holy Slash. We have our perfect hand on Evelyn. This is what we're looking to draw every time. Very, very consistent and curated game plan. And we have to be honest, OTK in Madness 18 is very difficult. I think we ditch something like this should work. In a fire, buff Sigrun, that's invulnerable for the enemies. Okay, Blade Dance is somewhere in the deck. I am going to start with a unstable power. We'll camouflage into the Blade Flurry. Okay, Blade Dance is down here, so we'll camouflage again. We'll pull out a Slice because it's free. And then we can rain Zap the Roasted Corny. Zap Pig. And just again, this is really close. Very, very tight. Now, I mentioned already, I save the game. I talk about how to do this. I am not going to take anything here. I know I have to take this Zap on Sigrun because I am node manipulating. Now, because we're going through Sati, because we're going through Feyborg, I'm not going to fight the farmer. Usually, and in my next couple of videos, I will do Madness 18 where we suffer from low self-esteem. When we fight the farmer here, we take this, we want to crit fail it to get an extra fight for more XP. I'm not going to do that for this run. Instead, I'm just going to take some gold from this guy instead. And the pathing, just as a reminder, we go through the hatch, we pop out here at the rift, we're going to come down, go up, go down again, then go up to Yilmit's the optimal pathing. And for the hatch, the reason I took that card on Sigrun is because we're going to jump. We have no Cornelius. Cornelius is obviously very strong in Madness 18. We're not doing that. And we make it through. Very, very try hard. But look, we do have, the chances are pretty decent. Okay, I'm going to skip this fight and see you the corridor here. You're at the Corruptor fight just before the M statue. It's really, really tough. Even with a forgiving Corruptor like Armageddon, finding it very difficult to OTK on the new Madness 18. At least with this comp, we've got very, very lucky. If this was Noxious or Melancholy, we would entrench into turn 2, which is fine. We're not doing a true high scoring run, but I like to try and puzzle solve the OTK style. And we did get through it. I had to go back and actually take some bad card rewards to shuffle Laia's deck. So you can see in Laia's draw pile, we actually have a War Paint. I took this in the previous fight just to get a deck shuffle because I couldn't do it first time round. Passing to Evelyn here. We have our perfect hand. I'm going to Cold Spark the boar on the back. Transmission for you. Transmission for you. Passing turn. I'm going to take a look on the top. I'm going to get rid of all of this. Even the piercing howl has to go. I need to find bless. Base damage here is actually more than the resist reduction. We're going to keep one in a fire. Funnel a bunch of inspire into Sigrun, so she's up to 5 now. Make sure she gets her buffs. Passing the turn. Okay, we'll kick things off with unstable power. I'm going to camouflage into a blade flurry onto Bacon here. We'll blade dance. Pull back the blade dance. Going to draw. Stick these two back. Zap Bacon. Chuck out a random zap. We'll shiv the sheep. And you can see we had a zap to spare, but it got so close, right? Very, very, very close. Just a little bit of extra HP. The Malicious Eye here is kind of tempting because we're about to transform to lightning, but I do want to keep Sigrun's deck as thin as possible. I think this would be the fun pick. I'm not going to take it. I'm going to try and keep the deck as thin as possible. Our reward for this Corruptor was a shot. So we're going to corrupt Brigand Armor on Evelyn. And later in the run, we're going to visit Feyborg. There's going to be a roll to enter the sewer. We don't have Zek on our team, so I'm going to take this old horseshoe on Andrin to make sure that he doesn't suffer from a permanent injury for that roll. With that in mind, I'm going to skip ahead a few fights and see you at Belfior. And so here we are at Lord of the Imps, one imp to rule them all, and we're level 2. We took Wild Hunt on Andrin. We took Enchant Weapons, which is going to be fantastic on Evelyn. And of course, Storm Channeler on Sigrun, which is going to be night and day from our level 1 power level. It kind of reminds me of Bree. When she gets Unforgiving Nature, it just turns into a completely different game. Same is true for Sigrun. This is an amazing level 2. We're holding Laia's level 2. And just one other thing to note is I took the Heat Surge Spoon on Sigrun for just a little bit of extra energy. So let's see if we can take down Belfior. Okay, we're looking for Wild Hunt if we can possibly find it. So we get rid of all this, just keep scavenge and setup. We'll draw, take a look on the top. We do find it, so I can scavenge it back out. Play Vigilance. Play Vigilance. Chant Eve. Expert Tracker everything off the top. And we'll see if we need more deck manipulation. Hopefully we don't. Okay, we find enchant weapons. That's great. We can't triple transmission, but that's fine, I think. We'll do electric weapons for obvious reasons. The sharp, the sharp just gets us to level 2. We're now just doing lightning damage only, so this sharpen is useless for the rest of the run. We are doing lightning. We'll get rid of this shiv. Take another look on the top. Get rid of the zap. Holy Slash, not an insignificant amount of damage because of all the mark. Passing the turn. So yeah, we're doing lightning only now. The sharp was just to get us through the early game. Very, very early game. We've drawn into our Storm Channeler, which is amazing. And we can Blade Flurry. And proc it. Unbelievable amount of damage. And proc it again. And you can see we have 3 zaps to spare. Like I said, night and day, the level 2 power spike is huge. We don't need any of this stuff. And for the loot, a lot of purples here. Well, I do like speed. I'm going to take Cloak of Evasion. I did specifically perk Laia Evasion just in case we get this to play multiple Fanaticisms. And then I think we'll take an Iron Wand, which would be great on Sigrun now that we're doing lightning damage. I think that's it from here. So we'll head out to the hatch and keep moving forward. Okay, here we are at the Corrupt fight just before the Dryad. And we're up against Thorn's Proliferation, my favorite. We did get a free upgrade, so we upgraded Uproot on Andrin. We also found a Scroll of Intellect on Evelyn and managed to upgrade that too to a yellow one, which is great. Gonna have to trace myself just to find the Uproot. We do. I'm gonna scavenge into that. And now you can see the Cutthroat's actually faster than Sigrun, so I'm going to keep this scroll of speed on the top of the deck this time. We'll still chant Evelyn for obvious reasons and finish with an uproot. We'll dig that scroll of intellect out of the deck, stick it on Sigrun, do a scroll of speed each, a transmission each. We will rain. Got no use for this mana gem. With the free upgrade, I upgraded the war paint. We're going to get rid of that as soon as possible. We'll find some bless here. Sharpen is useless, so I'm not going to play that to give them more thorns. We will do in a fire though. Thorns proliferation, not too bad in Act 1. Let's draw here, see what we get. Hopefully we get some gas, we do. All rain, Blade Flurry. And then I think we can slice. Blade Dance, you see. Ton of clear. What's nice is Storm Channeler. The AoE does not proc thorns, so you can see we're very, very healthy still. And then we'll finish off Sky Hunter with a decent amount of health. Not going to take anything here. Maybe the setup is interesting. I'm kind of on the fence about this. We already have one. We have decent card draw, so maybe I'll leave it for now. And we found a shop, but we're quite light on money. And if you remember, I'm going to try and upgrade Wolfie in Act 2. Wolfie's very expensive. So I would like this Lightning Book, and technically Gloves of Agility is an upgrade for Laia, but I'm going to save my money here and keep moving. So let's take the Dryad fight, see how we do. Okay, who's she going to hit? Andrin. Take a look on the top, and I like what I see. In fact, I think I used Vigilance once. Stick this Vigilance back, and we're golden. We'll uproot these guys. I think we'll trace Sigrun. Get rid of these, something like this. Get back the trace. Expert Tracker, everything off the top. And then we'll trace Cold Spark and Rain off too, so that we can triple transmission. Do need the scroll of speed. Free transmission, rain, electric weapons. Okay, we'll take a look. Yeah, this looks really good. Heal some. Get up to 5 Inspire. Super strong. Feels very smooth. We get rid of these. Yeah. Lovely. We have 3 cards in the deck. Storm Channeler is one of them. I would like to dig it out, so I'm going to do Rain and just have space. I'm going to throw a Shiv at the Dryad. And now we can set up without being punished for overdrawing. We'll do a Blade Dance and wipe out the front 2 units. And I think we have enough energy now to camo into a Blade Flurry. Pull out the Blade Flurry and gun it down. Yeah, finish her off with a zap. Very nice. Oh my god. Okay. This is absolutely best in slot. Superconductor, incredible card. We also have it upgraded. This is an extremely good pickup here, so we'll take that on Sigrun. And we have, oh wow, okay, we have a Corrupted Forest Crown. I'm going to take this Emerald Necklace on Laia. This can sometimes be a grief. Luckily, our team are fast enough because it would give 3 speeds. There's a chance that if we put it on Andrin, that Sigrun would be too fast because of her high base speed. But because we have this Brigand Armor on Evelyn, we're in pretty good shape where we absolutely can and should take the Forest Crown on Andrin. Wow, this is it's pretty amazing. So we will head up here, and I'm going to see you at the Ymir fight. Okay, Madness 18, he is 1 tanky tree. Gonna get rid of this Chant of Initiative. You can actually see that Evelyn is now base speed of 17 too, so she's tied with Sigrun, therefore ahead of her. So I'm going to get rid of this chant for now. I see Wild Hunt, which I'm very happy about. I'm going to use the setup before I Vigilance, so now I can get an extra proc on Wild Hunt, if you can see that. Okay, we do draw into Chant of Initiative. We don't need it. I'm not going to play it on Laia, because I want to jump Laia ahead of Evelyn, so we'll just play on Evelyn. Anyway, get rid of all of the crap off the top. And I'm going to trace her a second time, actually. Get rid of these 2 rains, just make sure. We do need to get the Scroll of Speed. We need to get Laia ahead of Sigrun for obvious reasons. Okay, we got 10 mark on Yeoman. That's a pretty good rate. Good one here. Nice. Gonna get electric. Transmissions for each. Scroll of Speed. Hopefully Laia gets a good hand. It's not too bad. We'll put this on top. We will think get the powerful. Yeah, let's do it like this for now. So then we can get rid of unstable power. Go up to 5 Inspire on Sigrun. Super strong. And we do need one of these unstable powers to go up to 8 powerful. So we can start by Storm Channeling, unstable power. I think we Rain, and then we Camouflage into a Blade Dance, I believe. Yeah, that looks pretty good to me. We'll draw, put back a Rain and a Zap, and I think I'm going to have to proc an AoE like this. Yes, okay, perfect. We can Camouflage now into Blade Flurry, and we get one more proc. This does fall off after the 4th attack, so if I play Slice, now it's gone. And we'll finish Yilma off with a couple of zaps. Beautiful. Not going to take any of this, I don't think. And as far as the items go, not going to take any of this either. Could argue leather gloves, maybe. I don't know. I like 50 gold. We're going to buy Jelly and Wolfie at some point, so that's a lot of money. So we can finally level up Laia, and we're going to head to the new zone, Sati. And here we are about to head out of Sati town. On Andrin, I bought 2nd Adrenaline, took out a Chant of Initiative, and picked up 2nd Uproot along the way here, streamlined the deck down to 15 cards. On Sigrun, we have that unbelievable superconductor that we picked up. We'd like to proceed that with a Camouflage because jump is multiplier. I explained this in another video. We're not doing sharp stuff though, so I just kept the 1 Camouflage. I did buy a 2nd superconductor though, and in theory we have a 3rd because of Electricity Manual. This is an amazing damage card for the energy that you spend, and we'll be playing this all the way through until the final bosses when we take it out against Hanshok and Archon. Now you'll see when we have Storm Channeler, we're much stronger, so I do prioritize reach. I regret not picking up the 2nd setup in Act 1, so you can see I actually bought the 2nd setup in town. I probably made a mistake there. Changed both of these to yellow. We have good energy, and so changed both of these to yellow just for the reach to make sure that we get Storm Channeler. And speaking of energy, bought an Adrenaline too. Streamlined a few of the zaps out the deck, but keeping Slices, Blade Dance, and Blade Flurry just so that we have cards to proc Storm Channeler. Evelyn, the deck is basically the same. I took out a Rain, took out her class card, and she should be guaranteed to get through her deck as long as we don't have something like a Noxious or a Melancholy. We're going to get through the deck. We're still doing the innate cheese for now. And then on Laia, we have Divine Power, which is the best card in the game, realistically. We picked up the armor for the Fanaticism, if you remember. So on the Cloak of Evasion, this blanks the damage from Fanaticism. And otherwise, Laia's deck is largely the same, and the role is largely the same. From an equipment standpoint, I bought this Golden Chalice on Laia. We did pick up this Ball of Wool in Act 1. On Evelyn, we bought this Mixed Salad, just a bit of extra reach, so if we do encounter a Melancholy, for example, we still can get through the entire deck with a bit of overdraw. And then on Sigrun, I can't remember if I mentioned this, but in Act 1, we found Rift Shards at the Dimensional Portal. Now, we are not using this at all. I picked this up for one reason only. We only had to forego 25 or 30 gold to get this, and I'm going to be trading it in at the Rat King. We're going to upgrade Mjolnir, if you remember, on Sigrun. And so I wanted a cheap jewelry because you have to trade it in at the King. And so I made sure just to pick up a crappy piece of jewelry, not using this at all. And then Andrin, I mentioned we're corrupting Wolfie, so spent a lot of money on that. Getting great Mimey value already. The return on Mimey is just unbelievable. And so we've got Wolfie on Andrin. So I think that is it. And we are going to head out here. We're going to come up across the top and come here to the Fisherman's Pier, go across, up here, meet Charles, sell him some things, come up to the open waters, take the rift down, fight the Kraken, and head downstairs. First thing I'm going to do is do this. I have no idea what these nodes do. So we're going to just explore all of Sigrun's character events. Then I'm going to hop over here and do not want an ice comet even though it's corrupted. And let's see how we go in fight 1. Yeah, our team is a well-oiled machine. We actually don't even need Chant of Initiative here. Because as you can see, Evelyn is fast enough, which is great. We'll just keep drawing and try to double our route. Perfect. Beautiful. Get rid of all those off the top. Take a look over here. Get rid of those. Pass turn. Transmission each. We do still need to scroll of speed. Laia, we don't even need to use our carrot here. Perfect. Silky smooth. Divine power. All the bless. Looking forward to upgrading that soon. We'll put a zap in the discard pile. Go up to 5 Inspire. We do find Storm Channeler. And I think I'm just going to start. Look how much damage Superconductor is going to do. Get it back out. Ton of damage. Draw. Put this back. And then sure we'll Blade Flurry. We can Superconductor like this. And then finish off with a Blade Flurry. Lovely stuff. Tempted by this Blade Dance. Not going to take it, I don't think. I don't think we need it. Same with the Adrenaline. I think what we're doing is working very well. I'm going to go here to the Plagued Village. Everyone is sick. This guy wants some seaweed. He would be very grateful if we could fetch him some weed. Alright, we'll get you your weed set. Then we'll come up here. And this is pretty close, actually. I think in the late game, because we're converting to lightning, there are just better repeats like Winter Orb and Cold Snap Winter Orb instead of Ball Lightning is more damage. And Blade Flurry is just going to be more damage when we ambidextrous and scavenge it. So I'm tempted by this. I think I'm actually going to take the card remove though. We were up against Heavenly Armaments. I'm skipping straight to Sigrun's pop-off turn because none of them were faster than us and you kind of get the game plan. There is a world where I should have taken Rupture or Captivating Voice on Andrin just to be prudent, but as you can see, none of them outspeeded us, and so we're going to pop off. You've seen the game plan at this point. We'll start things off with a Blade Flurry, and we'll Blade Dance, and the damage is bonkers at this point. We're cruising through. I will take this Expected Prophecy on Laia. I really like this card, and I like getting up to 3 on Laia if possible to draw through the deck. I'll take this Blade Flurry. Amazing endgame card, gives us Fury, gives us a lot of repeat. For our removes here, I don't think we need this 3rd Scry on Laia. And on Sigrun, I don't think we need this Camouflage anymore. I mentioned we're not doing Sharp, so we should be good without the Camouflage. And you can see on the rest of the characters we're at lean 15, so don't need to do the card remove. Now, this pet trainer is where we buy the Parrot Matey, which is great value. I am going to buy an upgraded Wolfie instead, for obvious reasons. Really, really strong. Turn 1, slow and vulnerable. We'll come up here where Sigrun mentioned she might have lost something. This is the Mjolnir quest. You can see the path and the choices that I'm making going to lead to Mjolnir. So this is where everything started. We find a rune that she cannot quite read or fully explain. This is going to help us get Mjolnir shortly at the Kraken. And here, I think there's a chance in the Feyborg zone, you have to trade jewelry for the cold blob. So if I do want the cold blob, there's a chance. I'm just going to take this, only 25 gold. And so just in case I'm trading in jewelry, maybe I'll take this. I won't take anything here, and I'll take +1 damage on Sigrun. And keep moving forward here. Going to just get 500 gold for free from Charles, thank you very much. And then come up here, we have Armageddon. I'll take a shot. Okay, we're up against a few of the newer units. This guy is horrendous. I'm not going to engage with this guy's mechanics. The captains are very, very, very strong on the new patch. I think they're going to get appropriately touched down in subsequent patches, is my understanding, and rightly so. Our turns on Andrin are beautiful. We're going to Wild Hunt. Now we have Wolfie, so they're already at 6 vulnerable before we even pass the turn. I'll trace Laia here. Don't even need this piercing howl, I don't think. Okay, we will speed up Laia. One for you, one for you. Beautiful, well orchestrated. Okay, we'll take a look on the top. Get rid of those, draw. Put the scry back. All the bless. We are just tearing through enemies now. It was such a struggle before. For level 2. Hit Storm Channeler. And I think I'll start with the Blade Dance. Well, slice. Yeah, and look at this. Perfect. Here, I think electricity manual is interesting. I already have one already. So I think I'm going to skip this. I don't think I need it. Oh, this is a good shop. Okay, so we'll do Glad Helmet now on Sigrun. Don't need this winged helmet anymore because of the corrupted forest crown. And I'm going to take this lapis necklace on Evelyn, actually, and just skip her ahead. And we don't need to corrupt this. It still does +1 charge. So we'll stick with this. We are level 3. And I'm actually going to hold these. There's, I'm going to node manipulate the Kraken fight. It is absolutely horrendous. You can suffer multiple injuries here. So I'm actually going to hold these level ups to get multiple shuffles, and we'll fight the Rift. Okay, and here we are at the back end of that Rift fight. So on Sigrun's pop-off turn, gonna gun him down. With our superconductors. We'll check out the rewards here. I don't think we need any of this. You can see we're level 3. And we'll take a look at the loot. I'm going to take this mixed salad on Laia. And we'll do Dimensional Crystal. I know I just took this Lightning rune, but Dimensional Crystal for Superconductor is actually much, much better. So I'm going to do that instead. And I'm going to hold these level ups. We come down to the Kraken here. And it's brutal. We could have multiple injuries. We have a roll here that we can fail and get an injury, and a roll at the back end of the Kraken fight. So I save the game. I'm saving the game here. And I test all of these level ups. And we actually do make it through without leveling up at all. So I'm going to do this one. We get a 3, a 0, a 0, and a 0, I think. Okay, and then we'll fight the Kraken. Alright, we are going to trace ourselves, and I think this is fine. Something like this will Uproot, Expert Tracker, Eve. We will move away from the innate cheese at some point. Clarity is bad now, by the way, because because we have Glad helmets on Sigrun. And then we'll do another one of these, I think, on maybe Sigrun. Put a zap or something like that in the discard pile, it's fine. Passing 10. Speed up Laia. One for you. One for you. Give broccoli to the Kraken. Hand that over. Electric weapons. Yeah, we'll transition away from this innate cheese. And like I mentioned at the start of this video, at some point I'll do a non-OTK run. We'll draw, yeah, put back like something like this is fine. Yeah, what we got here? We'll do helping, helping, helping. Still up to 5. Inspire. All the bless. Should be a-okay. Or maybe find our Storm Channeler. And might as well start with Blade Dance, I guess. Draw. Nice. Okay, we'll put the sand back. Bouncy, bouncy. Duplicate it with the crystal. Yeah, and already, before even Blade Flurry or Prop Channeler, that's enough. Superconductor, crazy amount of damage. Not going to take this, and we're going to get another roll. We'll get a hit, a 3, a 0, 1, and a 0. We just make it through. It'd be so bad doing the rest of the run with permanent injuries. So we made it through, and now we get Mjolnir. Something is calling me, is coming, and it is Mjolnir. So we're going to go with the Jade Ring. I know I took this earlier just in case we're going to exchange it, but I think Jade Ring is going to be better now. And that means that Laia is going to be ahead of Sigrun in the turn order, which is great. We'll take Mjolnir for obvious reasons. The flagship weapon, incredibly strong. 3 times a turn when you play melee attack. Draw 1, deal 7, and apply 3 spark to a random monster. Extremely good. And then here we are going to take a free card upgrade, which is much wanted against Melancholy. Now, Melancholy is a challenge, but we have a lot of redundancy with our deck manipulation, so it's not insurmountable. Going to get rid of all of this, just looking really for Expert Tracker. I'd love to not have to play this Trace. If possible, I am going to have to do it, though, just to get a setup into the discard pile to find Expert Tracker. Okay, we'll uproot Tracker Eve, and this is annoying, but we have a good redundancy, and you can see Laia is actually going ahead of Sigrun, which is pretty nice. So we'll draw. We don't need these anymore. The Scroll of Speed, our order is good. We're missing out on our 3rd transmission, but that's okay. So yeah, look, we did draw into 2 innate cards, but we have some overdraw. It's not the end of the world. We can pass the turn here. Okay, I'm gonna look on top. Get rid of something like this. I think is okay. Like I said, clarity is bad now because we have Fury on Sigrun, Piercing Hell. So I'm not going to play this clarity. Take a look on the top. Ditch a Sad, maybe a Superconductor. And Mjolnir is so strong. It's like, it's crazy, crazy. It's kind of like Tempest. We're going to draw now when we play this Blade Flurry. We're going to do damage. We do AoE, a single target, and a draw. And if I slice, it's just redraw again. We play Dance, draw again. Get a proc, and then Superconductor. Yeah, very, 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 very strong. As if we weren't strong enough already. This is going to be bonkers, and we're going to corrupt it soon as well, so it's going to do an AoE. Probably some overkill. Okay, we get our free upgrades, so I'm going to do a Divine Power, like a random transmission or something. Superconductor for sure, and then maybe just like a random Adrenaline here. And Still holding these level ups, so I don't feel like I need these. This is a shuffle game, kind of similar to the Forge, so you get to shuffle. You'll have to trust me that I got this first try. Okay, we're on the back of the shuffle game. Really good chance and gold value. I'm going to go ahead and level up Laia for Warrior Duality and Sigrun for Scout Duality. I'm going to hold the others for now. And we're going to take a fight here. Armageddon is the last fight before the boss, and don't need Ice Comet on Sigrun, so we'll just take a card remove instead. Okay, and with that level up and the upgrade of Divine Power, we were already very strong. We have somewhat trivialized the game now, but I hope you're enjoying the show. Gonna draw. Let's take back this trace and double uproot. I'm up to 6 vulnerable. Look at the beautiful turn order of our team. Don't even need to speed up Laia anymore, which is perfect. I'm actually tempted to go double transmission on Laia just because of Divine Power now, rather than double on Sigrun. We have so much draw because of Mjolnir. Okay, we'll do one of these. We'll take a look on the top. Okay, there it is, Divine Power. And we should see some crazy, crazy damage. Do this. Do this. And then we'll Fanaticism up to 10. We can do this all the way and we get a refund back from the perk. Remember, we perked Laia with this perk, so we get a refund back, which means we can Benediction too, up to 26. Okay, so we'll Storm Channeler and Blade Fury this guy down. It's absolutely mad. And then we'll do one Superconductor. Very good. Super, super strong. Not going to take any of this, and we are as lean as can be, so no card remove. And let's take a crack at the Rust King. Alright, old Rusty and Pit the Eel. I'll be honest, the boss is a little bit overtuned, in my opinion. So I'm not planning on entertaining his mechanics. I just want to kill him and move on with my life for now. I think we'll dish this adrenaline like this, yeah. Alright, then we'll draw. We'll stick back this, it's fine. And then we'll Expert Tracker Eve. Yeah, I think this is going to get toned down. Just dodging. I'm not going to engage with this. It is going to get toned down, I think, in a subsequent patch, hopefully. It's definitely doable if you're really, really min-maxing, but for the... It's too punishing, in my opinion. We will take a look at the top, and I think we will do something like this is just fine. We'll draw. And then we will expect it, put back these clarities that we don't need because of the Fury. And Divine Power, get a refund back. Get our 20 Bless on Sigrun. And I think, so the trick to this guy is Superconductor, because it just jumps back and forth. You start on Pit because you want to go 1, 2, 3 to do the most damage to the Rust King. And then we copy up a Dimensional Crystal. And we've already nearly killed him. We have Lightning Manual on the Scavenge, and then we'll do one more. Okay. We're just dodging the mechanics and gun him down. I do like Bluff on Laia, so I'm going to take that. And nothing else here. We're still level 2, so we can level these guys up. And don't need any of this stuff, I don't think. We'll take the gold. And now we will move on to Act 3, where we're going to go to Feyborg. And here we are about to head out of Act 3 town. We have a lean 15 on all of our characters, including Sigrun, who has the Heat Surge. Andrin's deck is unchanged since Act 2 and will largely be through the end of the run. Maybe in Act 4 we'll take out Chant of Initiative or two for like a slice or something like that. Sigrun, we took out Zap. We spent a lot of shards on Ambidextrous. Very expensive. We're going to be copying Blade Flurry with that 99% of the time. We have Uproot, which is our Thorns Proliferation tech. It was a little bit blasé of me not to buy this in Act 2. I was running a little bit of risk, but I felt like I had enough sustain. But now Thorns Proliferation would be a run ender, so I have to have the Thorns Proliferation tech, and Uproot is perfect on Sigrun. It's a necessary evil just to get through that Corruptor fight. Evelyn's deck is unchanged, so nothing to discuss here. And then Laia is where all our shards went. We bought Amplify, brand new card. When it's blue, upgraded, we can increase the aura charges on a hero by 50%, which is unbelievable in conjunction with Divine Power, Energize, and Inspire. We bought a Bluff. We obviously picked one up at the back end of Act 2, but I really like this, so I bought an additional one. And Divine Guidance, very expensive. Another Divine Power outlet, and we'll be turbocharging Sigrun with Divine Powers and Amplify. Spent some shards upgrading Expected Prophecy, which we picked up in Act 2, and then took out Clarity because, as I mentioned, we don't want to remove the Fury from Sigrun. The only other thing to note is I bought Jelly. If you remember, we perked Evelyn down this tree to give her Sanctify, and we also perked her down this tree to give her Spark, and she obviously gets Spark from Elemental Amplifier. So Jelly, we are going to corrupt it. We have another pet trainer. We're going to corrupt this. We have the Sacred Tablet as well. So this also gives us some Thorns Proliferation tech. We're going to apply a lot of Sanctify to the enemies, and Sigrun, if she is attacking into Thorns, will be able to heal up through that. So let's head out here. I'm not going to give this lady money. I'm not going to do this. She has enough money. And we are going to corrupt Jelly. And the corrupted version of Jelly is really, really good. It does damage, which is nice, and just applies more status than before. Still think Corrupted Wolfie is best in slots, but Jelly is great too. So I'm going to take some resources here and take a crack at heavy weaponry. Again, in fight 1, we're being out-chested by Mimi's older brother, so for confidence, we're going to absolutely obliterate them on behalf of Mimi here. Uproot's completely useless because we're up against heavy weaponry. We'll take a peek on top of Laia's deck. Looks amazing. Not going to touch it. We'll take a peek on top of Sigrun's deck. And get rid of Electricity Manual and Ambidextrous. Pass turn. There you go. Jelly doing work already. Apply a bunch of Spark for resist reduction and Sanctify 2 in case we need to sustain against Thorns Proliferation. Now, even though Laia does have the Inspire draws 2 but capped at 1 charge, I am going to double transmission Laia just for the Energize for Divine Power. We'll Helping Hand Sigrun. Take a look on top of the deck. Get rid of those for now. We'll draw. We'll draw. We'll draw. And we'll Helping Hand. Helping Hand. The cool thing about Amplify is that it multiplies Energize and Inspire. So you can see we're on 3 Energize, 4 Inspire. We're now on 4 and 5. And that will be even better when we upgrade Amplify. So that's really, really cool. Look at that, 26 Bless. Amazing stuff. We will draw. Okay, incredible. Put this Uproot back. I guess we can go ahead and Blade Flurry at the chest. It's just ridiculous damage. I'll do one of these. And then we'll Superconductor, I guess. And finish off the Blade Flurry. Lots of overkill. And so what I'm going to do is skip a couple of fights. You can see we're super, super strong. So I'm going to rejoin you in just a little bit. Okay, well, we're back and we just very greedily looted this dead person's house. And now we're going to experience our first permanent injury as part of Madness 18. Now I did, if you recall, buy the horseshoe on Andrin just for this reason. In Act 1, to make sure he doesn't draw cold feet. He is our deck manipulator extraordinaire. And so you can see we succeeded with Sigrun, which is great, and we only have this on Evelyn and Laia, which is not the end of the world. We can get through this. It's not too bad. We've been carving our way through this act. We are super strong. We have a Thorns Proliferation where we'll take some resources. Okay, we do have a very good tech for Thorns Proliferation, so I'm not too nervous about this. And we do find Uproot, speaking of which, in Andrin's deck, which is nice. We have all the energy. We're going to Expert Tracker, as per usual. And Evelyn has Cold Feet, so we're going to find it, get rid of those two. She's going to suffer a tiny, tiny bit of damage because Jelly damages, so she goes from 101 to 99, but it's not the end of the world. We'll, transmission, Laia twice, and pass the turn. Oh, it's annoying. Such is life. We'll get our Divine Power here. We'll load up on Helping Hands. Probably get rid of a few of these. Oh, we found a Blade Flurry, by the way, on the way here. And we got a free upgrade. You can see I used the upgrade on Amplify. We didn't draw it this round, but that's what I used the free upgrade on. We'll do one of these, save energy back, get a refund, and finish off with another Divine Power. Okay, we are looking for Uproot for obvious reasons, so I'm going to set up. Okay, we find it, perfect. We can put back a slice or something like that. And we'll Adrenaline first, and then we can start with an Uproot. Save ourselves a bunch of health. It's a lot of damage. Oh my god. It's absolutely crazy. And we'll finish with a Superconductor. We will not take anything here. And we're level 4. I'm not going to take this blob. I was thinking about it, mulling it over, not taking it, don't need the chill. And then what I'll do is, in the interest of time, I'm going to skip this fight with Melancholy. I'm going to skip it, and we'll rejoin up at this fight just before the ranking, so I'll see you there in a sec. And we're back. Here we are in that fight on Sigrun's pop-off turn, and you can see we're level 4. I actually leveled up Andrin, Evelyn, and Sigrun because we had a card removed from the Corruptor Heavy Weaponry. So we're going to Thor's Might, Channeler, and Blade Flurry. It's a lot of damage. We can Superconductor like a million times. We're getting Thunderbolt, which we don't want to be mindful not to duplicate that too early. Not that it matters in this fight. I'm just bulldozing through everyone at the moment. Okay, we'll take a setup. Second setup on Andrew is great. And for our card remove, we cannot remove Cold Feet. Please, please, game, let me do it. We cannot do it. I'm going to get rid of an Unstable Power here. We're drawing through the deck. I'll change the scroller speed to an 8. But I'm going to get rid of an Unstable Power on Sigrun. Going to get rid of a Slice. And I think at this point, a Blade Dance is probably not needed. So I'm going to get rid of that too. And then on Andrin, we only leveled up to 4 to get this free remove on Repulsed, and we're going to get rid of Chant of Initiative as well. So here we go. We are we took this jewelry on Sigrun in Act 1. There's like we've foregone 25 gold or something to take this, and now we will give up the jewelry and some HP to corrupt Mjolnir, and we're going to be doing bonkers amount of damage with multiple AoEs. So we'll take this exotic equipment shop, show what we're capable of, and then fight the final boss. And because we suffer from chill, we're actually outsped by the Fiend here, which is very unusual to get outsped with Andrin, with Forest Crown, but there you go. And we take some damage. We're now up to 158 damage taken so far on this M18 run, which is kind of funny. I do like everything I see here, so I'm just going to draw and draw. Scavenge back. Set up, you know the drill. Double Uproot, Expert Tracker, All this. And then we are going to trace Eve too. Get rid of the scroll speed, I think. Yeah. Definitely a bit of work to do on Evelyn in Act 4. Oh, the cold feet is annoying. We'll scroll, transmission, draw off the carrot. We'll do one here. And I'm going to actually spell echo Laia. We have so many enchants now. We're level 4 on Sigrun. And this is going to be more bless, this spell echo. You'll see in a second. So I think I do this. Yeah. This looks good. We'll bluff. We will tomato. Draw. Back a bluff. Rock our discounts. Go up to 10 energy. And you can see this Lay on Pause is going to duplicate because of the spell echo. It's a spell after all, so it's just more bless. And then we'll Divine Power, leave 1 energy back, get our refund, and amplify. So amplify, we're going to go from 3 energize, 4 inspire, 24 bless, 9 fury, to 36, just spent 2 energy, to 36, 5 energize, full inspire, and 14 fury. So the value of amplify is incredible in this context. We are going to do a lot of damage because we have our Mjolnir proc. So Mjolnir now does a full AoE, just very similar to Storm Channeler. So we're going to do a double AoE with this Blade Flurry. Watch. Yeah, that's pretty good. And then more slice. And they're dead. Ridiculous. We'll take this Scroll of Intellect for sure on Evelyn. Very happy to see that. I don't think, yeah, I don't think this is worth it, so I'm not going to take it, unfortunately. Shop sucks, so we're going to skip all of this stuff, and then we'll take down final boss of this act. Okay, let's take a peek on the top. Can't wait to change this to a yellow setup once we're in Act 4. Do something like this. Pull this back out. And might as well Wild Hunt just for a little bit of mark. Not that we're going to need it. Evelyn's deck needs fine-tuning too. Need to change this Scroll of Intellect to yellow in Act 4, but it should be back to a well-oiled machine by then. You can see right now that we're not getting through the entire deck anymore. We are going to spell Echo Laia for Lay on Pause, for Bless. And look, we're a little bit short, but it's fine. We can fix that in Act 4. Pass the turn and we'll take a peek on the top here too. And Lay on Pause and Divine Power is exactly what we want, so we don't need to do any shenanigans. We'll draw. Broccoli. Helping Hand. Fanaticism, duplicate our Lay on Pause with Spell Echo for just more bless. And then we will Divine Power, saving 1 back for the refund so that we can amplify. Incredible value. Take a look on the top. And get rid of these 2, I think. Passing the turn. Okay, we'll Storm Channeler. And we might as well set up. We find Thor's Might, which is great. We're going to keep drawing in a second anyway. So we'll ambidextrous the Blade Flurry. And this is going to be doing lots of damage. Look at that double proc. It's just crazy. Yeah, perfect. Okay, easy enough. I mean, it doesn't hurt that you have Corrupted Mjolnir, right? We don't need another Divine Power. I will take a Mana Gem for when we play Equivalent Exchange on Evelyn. Not going to take Necro, don't need that on Sigrun, not required for what we're doing. And then for the items, I do think Butcher Block is better than Mixed Salad, because just in case we get a premium meat. And then Freezing Ink, we're going to take this on Evelyn. We did, if you recall, Perker with just a little bit of chill and wet. So Freezing is good, we just picked up a few books. This is some speed control, and it's resist reduction from wet. as well as lightning damage. And I don't think we'd take anything else here. I think it's touch and go between Orb of Storms versus Corrupted Mjolnir. You know, it's tempting, but let's stick with what I know. And then we'll head to Act 4. See you there. Okay, and here we are about to head out of Act 4 town. On Andrin, I bought this slice for the final bosses. I don't think it's going to make a huge difference, but it is essentially free with momentum. On Sigrun, we upgraded this ambidextrous at the back end of Act 2, changed all of our blade flurries to yellow. We're still holding onto this blade dance for now. I took out the second superconductor just because it was such overkill, I thought. We already have a second one in the form of electricity manual. It is ridiculous damage, but we're already blitzing through the hallway fights. Anyway, otherwise decks largely the same, still holding onto our upgrade for Thorn's Proliferation tech. We went to town on Evelyn's deck. We changed all the Scroll of Intellects to yellow. We took out some transmissions. We picked up that mana gem at the back end of Act 2 and bought equivalent exchange. We're going to funnel our energy into Laia in that method rather than transmission. Transmission is going to go to Laia for the Inspire, and then Laia is going to inspire Sigrun with Helping Hands and an Amplify. We're still running a small innate package, which is Bookworm, Scroll of Speed, Shifting Scroll, Unstable Power, so we'll always be binning them still with Expert Tracker. We should be getting through the entire deck, and I bought an Endless Bag just to make sure that we get through the entire deck with Evelyn. With Laia, we obviously upgraded our Amplify, upgraded the Divine Guidance at the back end of Act 2 as well. Spent some money on an Enrage, otherwise the game plan's largely the same. Saving these bluffs for upgrade, I would probably do that in town, or just do it at the back end of the act. The only other thing to note is I bought stimulant pills on Andrin. I was embarrassed at getting outsped by the Fiend, so just wanted to make sure that never happens again. Bought these stimulant pills, and otherwise I think we are golden and good to go. What I'm going to do is actually skip ahead a little bit throughout the act and rejoin you shortly. Okay, we rejoin, and the route that I took here is the high score pathing. We came up here, so I'm just showing with my mouse at the moment. I'm going to jump in and read the books, level to 5. On Laia, we're going to take Beacon of Lights, which allows us to proc duality for a 4th time. Evelyn, we're going to take Elemental Weaver, which will let Rain give us an extra energy. Sigrun, we're going to take Valhalla, which lets Scout duality proc a 4th time, and it basically gives us a free power coil. This is extremely strong. On Andrin, we'll take Mark for Death. Now on the way here, on Laia, we took an extra Enrage, but otherwise the decks, I think, are exactly the same. And we also, from an equipment standpoint, took an Electric Blob on Laia, which is going to multiply some of the spark from Wolfian Jelly, and also took a Corrupted Water Blob, which appeared in the Slime node on Sigrun. Not that it's going to make a huge difference. So we're going to head down to this node, and we'll take this exotic equipment shop against Armageddon. Okay, you can see we're much faster because of stimulant pills. No way we're getting outsped now. And we'll take a peek on top. Gonna ditch these, draw into the setup. Obviously looking for Expert Tracker. We have Endless Bag on Evelyn, which gives us great redundancy to get through her deck. It is still a little bit of a struggle. We'll double uproot. Expert Tracker, Eve. Like this. And then we'll trace Laia. Get rid of this double bluff. It's annoying, the cold feet. We do have the Endless Bag though, so we should be fine. I'm going to give the Inspire to Laia for obvious reasons, to keep the Inspire chain going. And Spell Echo for Lay on Pause. We'll draw from the bag. And equivalent exchange. Passing turn. Okay, we'll Spoiled Meat basically anyone. And then we can Helping Hand. We'll Divine Guidance like this. Helping Hand. And then we'll do one of these for like 6, get our refund. Draw. Annoying. Draw. We'll take a look on the top. Do something like this. Draw. And we'll stick back this Helping Hand, I think is fine. We'll go up. We'll Lay on Pause. Duplicate it. And then we'll Divine Power. 4. Exactly 6. Get a refund back. Amplify up to 50%. Bless. It's absolutely crazy. What a card. Oh my god. So Thor's Might, Storm Channeler, and Blade Flurry. That's just a full clear 1 proc. Oh my god. Not going to take any of this. And as much as I like Dimensional Crystal, I do prefer a Mirror. So we're going to do this. We could duplicate Storm Channeler or Blade Flurry. Both are good candidates. Storm Channeler expires after 4 attacks, so I could just get a reproc of this. We'll see what we choose shortly. But Mirror is going to be great. And we'll head in and take on the twins. Okay, something tells me they're not long for this world. Let's take a look. I actually really like the top 2, so I'm just going to restart the combat. So we can trace just a little bit deeper. Okay, we'll draw. Now we'll take a look. Okay, I like this, I think. Yeah, let's do it like that. Draw again. Okay, perfect. Slice, it's free. There's some momentum. Uproot. Nice, we'll get rid of the cold feet. Keep everything else. Take a look at top of Laia's deck. Oh, perfect. Get rid of the cold feet and the bluff. Maybe unexpected too. Yeah, let's do it like that. Okay, we're going to draw all the way through the deck. Spell Echo Laia for the same reasons we've spoken about. Give it the transmission. Rain, some more energy. Not that we need it right now. And there's the equivalent exchange. Laia's now up to 10. Oh, annoying. We proc the bag, drew the cold feet. That is the downside, I guess. Okay, so we'll take a look on the top. I don't think we need this scry. We'll start drawing here. I am going to proc one of these very shortly, I think. We'll double Lay on Pause. Enrage. Draw. Enrage up. This is crazy. And look at this. We're going to do one of these for 6. We'll do another one here, and we can do this for 4. And we're at 32 Bless, 3 Inspire, 5 Energize. That 3 Inspire now goes to 5 because of Amplifier. We're at 48 Bless. That's absolutely crazy. I'm going to duplicate the Blade Flurry with Mirror. Not that it's going to matter, I don't think. We'll Adrenaline. We'll do a Blade Flurry. It's a lot of damage, and one more Blade Flurry. And they're down. Or take this Enrage. Laia, that's great. I will take this Mana Gem. I am looking for things to proc Duality, even though Thor's Might does help proc Duality. Ideally, I would like to take all this out for the final bosses, so Mana Gem is great. And then from an equipment standpoint, what do we got here? I mean, Lightbringer is functionally the same as Golden Chalice, so I'm not going to take it. I don't think I need to corrupt Endless Bag on Evelyn. Yeah, I don't need anything here. Just get rid of all of it. Okay, with that in mind, what we're going to do is I'll rejoin you just before the final bosses. Okay, and here we are about to head into the final bosses. On Andrin, and change the uproots to blue because we're going to try and gun them down on turn 1. On Sigrun, I took out the electricity manual. We are stuck with a few cards that we're not planning to use, like Blade Dance, Superconductor, and Uproot, but I have a feeling that it's not going to be a huge deal. Deck's largely the same otherwise. We took this Mana Gem. On Evelyn, I took a Book of Nightmares, maybe just to shuffle a Recurring Nightmare into Sigrun's deck. It's an additional mage card for duality. Otherwise, I think the deck is largely the same. We did change this equivalent exchange to a yellow to make it free. Not that it's going to make a huge difference, I don't think. On Laia, we changed these bluffs to 0 cost. Otherwise, I think the deck is the same as when we left the twins. And no further updates on the equipment, everything is the same. So let's head in and see how we go against the final bosses. Okay, we find Wild Hunt in the opener, which is great, but unfortunately the top of the deck's kind of bad, so I'm going to have to get rid of all of this, draw into setup. And we're hoping to get a scavenge here. We do find it, so we'll scavenge back our expert tracker, which we absolutely need, and keep drawing. Okay, perfect. Adrenaline, double our root up to max powerful stacks. More expert tracker Evelyn. One thing I forgot to mention, I did change one of these to blue, and I got rid of a helping hand on Laia, just because Evelyn's got such good card draw with Endless Bag. So we'll be giving that to Sigrun to start inspiring her. Scroll. Double Mana Gem. We're proccing Freezing Ink as we go. Spell Echo. This is just poetry in motion. Beautiful stuff. Transmission. Electric weapons. Okay, first, wow. I'm going to premium meat at the start, just because it is quite a high roll. Just want to see what we'd be able to do without it. We're going to start proccing our duality discounts here, bluffing through the deck. We might as well enrage here. Going to lay on pause. Duplicate it. Enrage. We'll just throw one of these out for 6, get our refund back. Draw. Oh my god. Fanaticism. Helping hand. Helping hand. Take a look on the top. Ditch a slice. We will Divine Power. Save 1 energy so that we can play Amplify. We're at 40 Bless, 11 Fury, 3 Inspire. That 3 Inspire now goes to 5, and we're up to 50 Bless. It's crazy Amplify how much you can juice the carry with this style of play. So I have Mirror of Cassandra. I'm just going to duplicate a Blade Flurry first, make it cheaper, and we'll copy that one with the mirror. Okay, then we're going to start proccing our key spells here. Yeah, that's a lot of damage. Look at this. Wow. One last proc, and he's dead. Okay, here we are against Archon. Skip straight to the pop-off turn. You know the drill by now. I'm going to duplicate Blade Flurry with Mirror. Play a Storm Channeler. Adrenaline, Mana Gem up, and Blade Flurry. And then guess what? Blade Flurry. And then a Blade Flurry. We draw into Thor's Might, so we might as well go ahead and slice. And we have Thunderbolt. And for style points, they're going to finish him off. We had the Recurring Nightmare. Beautiful. So there you have it, Sigrun carry in the OTK style with Corrupted Mjolnir. I'll reiterate what I said at the start of the video, which is that I don't think that OTK is necessarily the most reliable or optimal way to play through Madness 18. However, I do enjoy it, and as you can see, I game manage a lot. I save the game, I go back to nodes, I make different decisions. I use the All Extreme Corruptor mod, which admittedly makes things a bit tougher in the early game, but you snowball really, really hard with rewards through Act 3 and 4. And so, for me personally, I really enjoy it. I hope people aren't necessarily baited into thinking that it is the best way to play. I hope you enjoy watching someone kind of limit test the art of the possible for the game. And at some point in the future, I will do some non-OTK videos, I'm sure. So look, with that in mind, thank you for watching, and good luck in your Across the Obelisk runs.